Hi children, I welcome you all to our history class, and in the last video I have made known to you about the Rowlatt Act of 1990 under the heading Nationalism in India. And today in this video we are going to learn about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Okay? Jallianwala Bagh massacre or tragedy. Massacre means here tragedy. Let us discuss about it. On 10th April 1919, the police in Amritsar fired upon peaceful procession. In the last video, I have already told you about the Rowlatt Act. And now, here on 10th April 1919, the police in Amritsar in Punjab fired upon peaceful procession when people are marching peacefully upon them. The police in Amritsar fired, and this took place on 10th April 1919. So on 10th April 1919, the police in Amritsar fired upon peaceful procession, and whenever the police fired upon these peaceful agitators, ultimately this provoked widespread attacks on banks, post offices, railway stations. Martial law was imposed and General Dyer took command. So here, whenever the police fired upon the peaceful protesters, ultimately this provoked the widespread attacks. This angered our Indians, our agitators. So ultimately there was widespread attacks started on banks, and post offices were ransacked. Okay, railway stations were attacked, and whenever our Indians started all these attacks on banks, post offices, and railway stations, the British government imposed martial law. The British government imposed some prohibitory orders, that is martial law. Okay, so whenever the martial law was imposed, then General Dyer, a military commander, General Dyer took command. Okay, so military took the powers, and then General Dyer, who took command at that time. So whenever the Indians attacked all these government post offices or banks or railway station, then martial law was imposed. On 13th April 1919, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab. On 13th April 1919, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed, that is not enclosed, it is enclosed, enclosed, enclosed. It is wrongly typed. In the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab. So Jallianwala Bagh, it is a big park in Amritsar in Punjab, where a large crowd, our Indians gathered there. It was an enclosed ground. On all the three sides there were heavy tall walls, enclosed area. It had only one exit. The ground had only one exit. On all the three sides there were tall walls. So a large crowd on 13th April 1919 gathered in that enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, near Punjab. Some people came here to protest against the government repressive measures. Our Indians were not happy at all with the British policies and their measures. That's why our Indians came there to protest against the government repressive measures. And while some people came to attend the annual Baisakhi fair, at the time a Baisakhi festival, a fair was organized there, and some people just came over to that Jallianwala Bagh area just to attend the annual Baisakhi fair. some people came over there to attend the a fair. So likewise, some people, our protesters went there, and some people who attended that meeting, particularly they came there to attend the annual Baisakhi fair. Likewise, people in large number gathered there at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. And many of them were unaware of the martial law that was imposed. Already martial law was in existence. It was already imposed. Prohibitory orders were there. But unfortunately, many of these people did not know. They were unaware of the martial law that was imposed, my dears. They did not know. They did not know about the martial law. But martial law was there. Strict prohibitory orders were imposed there. So no one should be allowed to attend. But people in large numbers attended this meeting at Jallianwala Bagh, a big park. People attended there. And then General Dyer entered the spot, my dear children, while some of the national leaders were giving their speech, and people were listening to them, listening to their speeches with rapt attention. While the people were listening to their speeches, all of a sudden, General Dyer entered the spot, my dear, and he ordered his men to fire upon people, and he did not give any warning before firing. When he arrived, simply he closed the exit gate. It had only one exit, and that gate was locked, and people were there inside. And then General Dyer, after entering the spot, he ordered simply his men, his armed men, to fire upon disarmed Indian people. They were listening to the speeches, and at that time, this fellow, General Dyer, ordered his men to fire upon the people. And hundreds of people were gunned down, my dear children. Hundreds of people were gunned down in that bloody firing. So there were strikes, hartals, and attacks on government buildings, my dear children. So when the fire started, people were scattered and they tried to escape from that area. But unfortunately, since the walls were so tall, they could not escape. As a result, hundreds of people, hundreds of protesters, our Indians, were killed in that firing, my dear children. And there were ultimately, as a result, there were many strikes, hartals, and attacks on government buildings. Government buildings were attacked. Our Indians, organized hartals and strikes, attacked government buildings. The government was quite brutal in its response. So government was brutal in its response. It controlled, yes, brutally. Things turned highly violent. Things turned highly violent. Violence was there. So things turned highly violent tone. And Gandhiji, whenever he saw this violent tone, so Gandhiji felt sorry for it. And then Gandhiji called off the movement when he saw the spread of violence. When the violence spread out, so he could not bear it. So Gandhiji called off the movement, because his movement was non-violence movement. But whenever this movement turned to violent tone, then ultimately Mahatma Gandhiji called off the movement when he saw the spread of violence. And then Rabindranath Tagore, who had returned his knighthood in protest against this incident, my dear. He gave back his knighthood title to the British government. He surrendered his knighthood title to the British government in protest against this Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. In protest against this incident, he gave back to the British government his title knighthood. And later, my dear, that is all about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Okay, my dear children, and now let me tell you about the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement. Let me tell you about the Khilafat movement. The Khilafat issue gave Mahatma Gandhi an opportunity to bring the Hindus and Muslims on a common platform. It's a wonderful. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi got a wonderful opportunity to bring Hindus and Muslims on a common platform. So here the Khilafat issue which gave Mahatma Gandhi an opportunity to bring the Hindus and Muslims on a common platform. And here Ottoman Turkey was badly defeated in the First World War. During the First World War, Ottoman Empire or Turkey was badly defeated in the First World War. When it was defeated, there was a rumor that was spread that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor. There was a rumor that was spread that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor. And this Ottoman Emperor, the ruler of Turkey, who was the spiritual head, and he was called Khalifa. He was also called as Khalifa. Khalifa means he was the spiritual head of the Islamic world. For all the Muslims, he was the head. So, he was the spiritual head of all the Islamic world. Okay, after the First World War. So, whenever this rumor spread out that a peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor, then ultimately he was deeply disturbed. And ultimately all the Muslims across the world, okay, came together and they fought against the colonial powers. They fought against the big powers in order to protect his spiritual head. That's why the movement that was started by the Muslims around the world, which was known as Khilafat movement. So here in India, Khilafat movement was also started here, my dear. In India, Khilafat movement was also started. And this Khilafat movement was started by Mahatma Gandhi ji. So, Khilafat movement or Khilafat issue, which gave Mahatma Gandhi a wonderful opportunity to bring the Hindus and Muslims on a common platform. So now, Mahatma Gandhi used this opportunity to bring the Hindus and Muslims on a common platform. So that is Khilafat movement. So there was a rumor that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor, who was the spiritual head of the Islamic world after the First World War. So the Muslims of India, here the Muslims of India decided to force Britain to change his Turkish policy. So Muslims in India decided to force Britain to change her Turkish policy. So they brought pressure over Britain to change her policy towards Turkey. And then a Khilafat committee was formed in India, particularly in the city of Bombay. A Khilafat committee was formed in the year 1919 in order to defend Khalifa. Khalifa means here the ruler of Turkey. Okay, since he was the spiritual head, they wanted to protect him. That's why a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in the year 1919 to defend Khalifa. And later, the leaders of the Khilafat committee, were Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Listen, my dear children, here in India, this Khilafat movement was led by two prominent leaders. They were brothers, of course. They were Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. And here is a picture you can see. Here is the picture. You can see these two brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. And these leaders played a very important role in India in the Khilafat movement. And they also wanted Mahatma Gandhi to take up the cause. They requested Mahatma Gandhi to take up the cause. The Congress passed the resolution in its Calcutta session in the year 1920 to start a satyagraha on the Khilafat issue, my dear. Mahatma Gandhi, okay, took this opportunity and he launched a movement, and that movement is called Khilafat movement. So the Congress passed the resolution in its Calcutta session in the year 1920 to start a satyagraha on the Khilafat issue. So Mahatma Gandhi started satyagraha on the Khilafat issue. This is all about, my dear children, Khilafat movement, or this was started by Mahatma Gandhi. So both Hindus and Muslims fought together with a spirit of oneness against the British on Khilafat issue, my dear children. This is all about Khilafat movement. Okay, my dear children, thank you for viewing this video, and you keep on reading the textbook. Okay, my dear children, and in the next video I shall continue the same chapter. Okay, I shall tell you another important I will come with another important topic in the next video. Till then, okay, my dear children, goodbye. Thank you.